The unveiling. The holographic display bathed Admiral Vera Novak's face in an eerie blue glow as she stared at the empty space where Solitude Colony had once thrived. Her weathered features remained composed, but the slight tremor in her hand betrayed her fury. "How many?" she asked, her voice dangerously quiet. Lieutenant Commander Riker hesitated before answering. 8 million civilians, The Krell hegemony vessels appeared without warning. His voice cracked. They didn't even issue demands. Novak's steely gray eyes never left the display. "Play the final transmission." The room filled with static, then a panicked voice. "This is Director Hammond at Solitude Colony. We are under attack by unknown vessels. They are firing on residential sectors. Oh God, they are." The transmission ended in a burst of static. "Prepare my shuttle," Novak ordered. "I need to address the Alliance Council immediately." The emergency chamber of the United Stellar Alliance hummed with tension as representatives from Earth and its 43 colonies gathered around the massive circular table. Some attended via secure hologram, their blue-tinted forms flickering occasionally. All faces showed the same mixture of shock, grief, and rage. Director General Hadrian Pierce, a tall man with dark skin and a closely cropped silver beard, stood at the head of the chamber. "Admiral Novak will present what we know about the attack on Solitude Colony." Novak stepped forward, her dress uniform immaculate despite her hasty journey. The wall behind her filled with images: a burning colony, fragments of ships, intercepted communications. 18 hours ago, Solitude Colony was wiped from existence by a fleet of 42 Krell hegemony warships, she began. "No warning. No demands." She tapped her neural implant, changing the display to reveal tactical data. "We've analyzed fragments of their battle plans recovered from debris. This was no random attack. The Krell have classified humanity as an evolutionary divergence to be corrected." The chamber erupted. A representative from Mars Colony stood. "Are other colonies in danger?" "Yes," Novak replied bluntly. "Their documents show plans to attack Andromeda Outpost, New Terra, and Proxima Station within the week. After that, they intend to systematically eliminate all human presence in space before striking Earth itself." Representative Cho from Lunar Colony slammed her fist on the table. "How can we possibly counter this? The Krell have the third largest fleet in the known galaxy. Our defense force barely numbers 200 vessels." Admiral Novak exchanged a meaningful glance with Director General Pierce, who nodded grimly. "Ladies and gentlemen," Novak said, her voice cutting through the chaos, "it is time to reveal Operation Phantom Shield." The room fell silent. "For over a century," she continued, "humanity has projected an image of minimal military capability. This was a deliberate strategy implemented after our first contact with alien civilizations." She activated a new display showing massive shipyards hidden inside hollowed-out moons, asteroid bases, and enormous fleets concealed in dimensional pocket spaces. "When we encountered alien life, we recognized patterns from our own bloody history. Species that openly displayed military power often faced coalitions formed against them out of fear. So we made a strategic decision to appear weaker than we are." The stunned silence deepened as images of hidden production facilities filled the screens. "While we traded openly with simple ships and built apparent colonies with basic defenses, we were preparing. Every mining operation was simultaneously creating warship components. Every research outpost was developing military technology. We now possess the largest fleet in known space, with weapons generations beyond what even the Krell can field." Representative Cho found her voice first. How large is this hidden fleet?" Admiral Novak's expression remained neutral. 900,000 warships, plus support vessels." The chamber exploded in exclamations of disbelief and awe. Director General Pierce raised his hands for silence. Operation Phantom Shield was created to give humanity time to establish itself without appearing threatening. But now we face extinction if we don't act. The Krell believe they are eliminating a minor annoyance, Novak added. They expect us to beg for mercy or fight a hopeless battle with our few visible defense ships. They have no idea what's coming. Defense Minister Nadia Okonkwo, a woman with intricate facial scarification marking her Nigerian heritage, leaned forward. How quickly can we deploy? The emergency protocols have been in place since we began expanding into space, Novak replied. Every ship can be fully armed and launched within 36 hours. Director General Pierce's voice was solemn. We need to vote. The deployment of our full military strength will end Phantom Shield forever. The galaxy will know our true power. This cannot be undone. The vote took less than 5 minutes, unanimous approval. Admiral Novak, Pierce said formally, you are authorized to activate Operation Phantom Shield. May the stars witness our resolve. In the Grand Palace of the Krell hegemony, Emperor Vaxmore received the human diplomat with undisguised contempt. The Emperor's segmented carapace gleamed with bioluminescent patterns signaling his amusement as he towered over the human. You come to beg for your species' survival. Vaxmore clicked, his mandibles vibrating with derision. Ambassador Julian Reed, a slender man with ebony skin and prematurely white hair, bowed slightly. I come to offer peace terms. Your colony was destroyed as a warning, Vaxmore chittered. The rest will follow. There are no terms to discuss. Reed unfolded a small device that projected a document between them. We propose a treaty. Human colonies will maintain a demilitarized zone near your borders. We ask only that you cease hostile actions. Emperor Vaxmore's compound eyes flashed with amusement. You have 12 patrol ships in this sector. We have thousands. Your species will be remembered as biological detritus in the grand evolutionary path of the galaxy. Reed's face betrayed nothing, but his eyes hardened. This is your only warning, cease all military action against humanity. Or what? Vaxmore's translator struggled to convey his scornful tone. Or we will respond with appropriate force. The throne room filled with the clicking laughter of the Krell courtiers. Vaxmore gestured dismissively with his front appendages. Remove this creature. Prepare the fleet to move against their colony at Andromeda Outpost. As the guards approached, Reed spoke one last time, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber. Remember this moment, Emperor Vaxmore. Remember you were given a choice. Across human space, hidden installations hummed to life. Inside asteroids, beneath planetary oceans, and within hollow moons, massive bay doors opened. Ships that had never seen combat were brought to launch position. On the command station codenamed Bastion, Fleet Commander Olivia Takashi watched as thousands of status indicators changed from dormant red to active green. Workers swarmed over vessels, attaching weapon systems that had been stored separately. Pilots and crews rushed to their ships. On the main screen, a counter ticked upward as each vessel reported ready status, 50,000. 100,000, 250,000. All ships report ready, Admiral, Takashi informed Novak as she entered the command center. Novak nodded, her eyes on the tactical display showing the Krell fleet approaching Andromeda Outpost. Have they evacuated the colony? Yes, Admiral. All civilians are clear. Any response from Ambassador Reed? Takashi's expression tightened. The Krell have rejected our terms. Reed is being held prisoner. Admiral Novak straightened her uniform jacket. The galaxy thinks it knows us. Today they learned the truth. She took a deep breath and gave the order that would change history, all ships launch. Weapons free. Show them what humanity is capable of when provoked. Captain Ezra Okafor stood on the bridge of the destroyer Vindication, watching as thousands of warships moved into formation around him. For 12 years, he had trained for this day, commanding a ship that had never left its hidden dock inside Europa. Status report, he ordered, his voice calm despite the gravity of the moment. All systems at full power, Captain, replied XO Lieutenant Commander Naomi Chen. The fleet is forming up. We're assigned to Battle Group Aegis under Fleet Commander Takashi. The massive view screen showed waves of ships stretching beyond sight, cruisers, destroyers, dreadnoughts, and carriers, human engineering at its finest, built in secret over decades. Incoming transmission from Bastion, reported Communications Officer Park. The screen changed to show Fleet Commander Takashi's determined face. Battle Group Aegis, this is Commander Takashi. The Krell fleet will reach Andromeda Outpost in 4 hours. Our intelligence shows they've sent 120 warships expecting minimal resistance. A cold smile touched her lips. We're going to give them a proper welcome. Battle Group Aegis will form the vanguard. As Okafor acknowledged the orders, he felt the weight of history on his shoulders. Humanity had hidden its strength for a century, hoping peace would prevail. But now, faced with extinction, they would show the galaxy why humans had survived their own bloody history to reach the stars. The Vindication's engines hummed with power as they accelerated toward their target, joined by thousands of other ships emerging from hiding places throughout the system. Together, they formed an armada unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, or imagined possible. And they were just the beginning. The Reckoning. Emperor Vaxmore lounged on his command throne aboard the Krell flagship Evolutionary Apex, his compound eyes fixed on the tactical display showing their approach to the human colony at Andromeda Outpost. The vessel's chitin-lined corridors hummed with the synchronized movements of the crew, each member perfectly evolved for their designated function. How long until we reach the target? He asked, his mandibles clicking with anticipation. 3 hours, Evolutionary Apex, replied war strategist Kexlar, his carapace markings indicating deference. Our scouts report only 7 human defense ships near the colony. Vaxmore's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with amusement. Such frail creatures. They don't even attempt to properly defend themselves. Kexlar shifted uncomfortably, his antennae twitching. Apex, there have been unusual energy readings from the outer system. Perhaps we should. Are you suggesting these humans pose a threat? Vaxmore interrupted, his translator struggling to convey the scorn in his multitoned clicks. No, Evolutionary Apex, but prudence has preserved our hegemony for 12 millennia. Prudence is for lesser species, Vaxmore chittered. These humans are evolutionary accidents, their ships primitive, their weapons negligible. A junior officer approached, prostrating himself before speaking. Evolutionary Apex, we've detected unusual movement in the asteroid field ahead. Display, Vaxmore commanded. The main view screen flickered to life, showing distant points of light emerging from behind asteroids and moons. Magnify, the Emperor ordered. As the image zoomed in, silence fell across the bridge. Not 7 ships, but hundreds were moving into formation. Behind them more appeared, then more. What is this? Vaxmore demanded, rising from his throne. Kexlar's exoskeleton had paled noticeably. Evolutionary Apex, those are warships. Human warships. Impossible. Vaxmore's bioluminescence flashed with rage. Our intelligence indicated they have no significant fleet. The sensor officer's voice trembled as he reported, Apex, we're detecting more vessels appearing throughout the system. Current count exceeds 4,000 ships. 4,000. Emperor Vaxmore sank back onto his throne, his confidence faltering for the first time in his 3-century reign. On the bridge of the Vindication, Captain Ezra Okafor watched with grim satisfaction as the Krell fleet came to a confused halt. They've spotted Battle Group Aegis, XO Chen reported. Just the first wave, Okafor replied. Are the dimensional gates ready? Yes, Captain. Awaiting the signal from Admiral Novak. Okafor nodded, his dark eyes fixed on the enemy vessels. The Krell thought they knew what they were facing. Now they would learn how wrong they were. His neural implant pinged with an incoming command, all battle groups execute Jump Protocol Omega. Throughout the system, space itself seemed to tear open. Massive portals of swirling energy appeared, surrounding the Krell fleet. From each gateway emerged hundreds of human warships, their weapons already charged. How many ships now? Okafor asked quietly. 30,000 in this system alone, Captain, Chen answered, her voice filled with awe despite years of training for this moment. And more arriving. On the tactical display, the human vessels moved with perfect coordination, forming a massive sphere around the Krell fleet. There was no escape. Incoming transmission from Bastion, Communications Officer Park announced. Admiral Novak's face appeared on the screen, her expression like stone. All ships, this is Admiral Novak. The Krell hegemony destroyed Solitude Colony without warning or mercy. 8 million innocent lives were lost. Her voice remained steady, but her eyes burned with cold fury. Today, they learned the price of that decision. Across the galaxy, the news spread like quantum fire. In the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council, representatives from 37 species watched in stunned silence as their information networks displayed the same impossible images, countless human warships appearing from nowhere, overwhelming the Krell forces in minutes. How did we not know? Demanded the Eltarian ambassador, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. How could humans hide such military power? They've been deceiving us for decades, hissed the Thraxi representative, her feathered crest rising in alarm. Building their forces in secret while pretending to be peaceful traders. The council elder, an ancient being from the respected Ardani species, called for order. We must not rush to judgment. The humans only attacked after the Krell destroyed one of their colonies. But 900,000 warships, exclaimed another representative. No civilization has ever fielded such a force. It's unprecedented. A hush fell over the chamber as the doors opened. The human representative, a dignified woman named Indira Patel, entered calmly. Representatives of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice clear and steady. I understand your concerns, but I must correct some misconceptions. She activated a holographic display in the center of the chamber, showing the destroyed Solitude Colony. This was an unprovoked attack on a peaceful human settlement. 8 million civilians dead. The Krell planned to systematically eliminate all human presence in the galaxy. The council members shifted uncomfortably. For 2 centuries, humanity sought only peaceful coexistence, Patel continued. We built our military in secret not out of treachery, but from painful lessons in our own history. Displaying overwhelming force often triggers fear and preemptive attacks from others. The Ardani elder leaned forward. What are humanity's intentions now? Peace, Patel replied simply. We will neutralize the military capabilities of those who attacked us or plan to attack us. We will not harm civilian populations. Once security is established, our fleet will stand down. And we're supposed to just trust you? Asked the Thraxi representative skeptically. Trust must be earned, Patel acknowledged. But consider this, if conquest had been our goal, we could have launched this fleet at any time over the past century. We didn't. We acted only when attacked. As the council debated, an aide rushed in, whispering urgently to the elder. We've just received word, the Ardani announced, voice trembling slightly. The Thraxi Concordat has launched attacks against human positions in the Orion Arm. All eyes turned to the Thraxi representative, whose feathers flattened in alarm. Patel's face showed genuine sadness. Then they too will learn the consequences of their actions. The Thraxi Imperial fleet moved confidently toward the human mining colony of Proxima Station. 200 warships, the pride of their military, formed a massive attack formation. High Commander Zixnara, supreme strategist of the Thraxi forces, smiled as she viewed the approaching human defenses. Just 15 ships protected the station. Pathetic, she muttered, her beak clicking with satisfaction. The humans have overextended themselves. They can't be strong everywhere. Her second-in-command approached cautiously. Commander, our long-range sensors detect unusual energy readings beyond the human defense line. Probably trying to frighten us with false readings, Zixnara scoffed. The Krell's mistake was attacking without proper intelligence. We know the human fleet is occupied at Andromeda. High Commander, I really think. Enough. Zixnara silenced him with a wave of her feathered arm. All ships prepare to engage. Target the colony's life support systems first. As the Thraxi fleet moved within firing range, space behind the human defenders suddenly rippled. Dimensional gates, dozens of them, tore open. From each portal emerged hundreds of warships. What's happening? Zixnara demanded, rising from her command chair. Dimensional gates, High Commander. Human ships, thousands of them. On the main view screen, Zixnara watched in horror as a massive human armada formed around her fleet. They had walked straight into an ambush. How, she whispered. How could they be here and at Andromeda simultaneously? The answer was as simple as it was terrifying: the humans had enough ships to be everywhere at once. Captain Darius Dew stood on the observation deck of the dreadnought Consequence, watching as the Thraxi fleet was engulfed by his battle group. For 15 years, he had commanded a vessel that had never left its hidden dock beneath Europa's ice crust. Now his ship glided through space alongside countless others, their weapons humming with barely contained power. The Thraxia, powering down their weapons, reported his second-in-command, Commander Valentina Korolev. They are surrendering. Dew nodded, a mixture of relief and determination in his eyes. Accept their surrender. Prepare boarding parties to secure their command vessels. Yes, Captain. Admiral Novak is requesting a status update. Dew tapped his neural implant. Admiral, Battle Group Phoenix has secured Proxima Station. The Thraxi fleet has surrendered with minimal casualties on either side. Novak's voice echoed in his mind. Well done, Captain. Maintain position. We're receiving surrender communications from multiple Thraxi outposts across the sector. As Dew acknowledged the order, he gazed out at the stars. The galaxy was changing before his eyes. For centuries, humanity had hidden in plain sight, building strength while projecting weakness. Now that strength was revealed, and the shockwaves would reshape interstellar politics for millennia to come. On Bastion Station, Admiral Novak reviewed the holographic battle reports flowing in from across human space. The Krell fleet had been neutralized. The Thraxi Concordat was surrendering system by system. Several previously neutral powers had immediately declared their friendship with humanity. The Galactic Council is requesting an emergency session, Fleet Commander Takashi reported. They are asking for assurances about our intentions. Novak nodded wearily. The burden of command weighed heavily on her shoulders. Tell Representative Patel to inform them that our only goal is security. We have no interest in conquest. And the Krell homeworld. Send Battle Group Sentinel to secure their space. Minimal force. I want their military neutralized, not decimated. Novak's eyes hardened. But make sure Emperor Vaxmore and his War Council face justice for Solitude Colony. Director General Pierce entered the command center, his expression somber. The galaxy will never be the same, Vera. No, she agreed quietly. For better or worse, the veil has been lifted. Was it worth it, he asked. All these years of secrecy and preparation. Novak turned to the memorial wall, where the names of the Solitude Colony victims scrolled endlessly. 8 million dead, Hadrian. If we'd revealed our strength earlier, perhaps the Krell would never have attacked. Or perhaps they would have formed alliances with others against us, Pierce countered. There's no way to know. What matters now is what we do with this power, Novak said firmly. We didn't build this fleet for conquest. We built it to protect humanity. That remains our mission. 1 week after what historians would later call the Revelation, representatives from every major galactic power gathered in the Great Chamber on neutral Ardani Prime. The massive amphitheater hummed with tension as species that had once considered themselves apex predators now faced the reality of human military supremacy. Director General Pierce stood before them, his voice carrying clearly to every corner of the chamber. For centuries, humanity has hidden its true capabilities, hoping that peace would prevail through cooperation rather than fear. That hope was shattered with the destruction of Solitude Colony. The chamber was silent, each representative feeling the weight of the moment. We did not want this revelation, Pierce continued. We would have preferred to remain in the shadows, building our colonies, trading our goods, sharing our knowledge. But now that our strength is known, let me be clear about our intentions. He paused, his gaze sweeping the chamber. Humanity seeks no empire. We claim no worlds beyond those we have settled. We demand no tribute, no subjugation, no special treatment. All we ask is what we have always asked, to live in peace among the stars. Pierce's voice hardened slightly. But know this, any aggression against human worlds or citizens will be met with overwhelming force. The fleets you have seen are but a fraction of our capability. We have protected ourselves this way for centuries. We will continue to do so." As the Director General finished speaking, the Ardani elder slowly rose to her feet. For a moment, the ancient being studied Pius, then spoke in a voice that resonated with the wisdom of millennia. "Today marks the beginning of a new era in galactic history. Let us ensure it is remembered not for fear, but for understanding. Not for power, but for justice. Not for war, but for peace." Across human space, the massive fleet began to withdraw, ships returning to their hidden docks and secret bases. But the galaxy would never forget the day when 900,000 human warships appeared, and everything changed.